Citizens here, so I guess we have to call the meeting to order. Just call the meeting to order. So I know we had can I talk about citizen right now? We had, somebody here last week, those of you who weren't here, who stayed for the whole meeting, and I didn't do a very good job of sort of, navigating how and when she could respond to what we were talking about, because I don't think she's allowed to be a part of the conversation necessarily, but to make a comment at the end of the topic. Amy, probably you know better. But
I think it's only at the beginning of citizens' comments. I think other than that, she's not allowed to offer any information at all.
so I will try and be better about navigating that one if she ever comes back. She seemed great. Like, I think it would be nice to have her a part of the actual committee if she, I don't know if she put in an application or not, but she seemed to have some interesting ideas. And so just oh, we are recording now. So yeah, any comments about that? Okay. So we'll start with our agenda. So consider approval for the January 17th minutes. Bless you. Bless you.
Sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Can I go back to this?
It's just filling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's not, this is not one first. I'm saying not the back of the here. Sorry for being a lily. No, you're fine.
Bill mentioned y'all had a vacancy, right?
There are a few.
Okay. Related. I was going to pick my top 3 and send in an application. They said that they still fill them even though it's past the deadline.
Oh.
They extended the deadline to May 1st.
Oh, cool.
There's quite a few applications.
So
You can fill that out. Yeah.
just to let you know, I was a little mistaken last meeting, so you're allowed to comment in our first section here. So if you have any interesting thoughts or want to share anything, you can do that now. And then when we go through our agenda, you're not allowed to comment. So, but we'd love to hear your thoughts. It's great to meet you and glad to see you here. And I hope you do fill out a form. But yeah,
Yeah,
you can fill that out. If there's anything else, anything you'd like to say before we?
No, not
Sure.
specifically. I just wanted to listen.
Great.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Okay.
if you want to fill that out and write whatever you'd like to, if there's something you'd like to discuss or.
All right, well, great to have you. So we'll move
And
on
help yourself to a drink or.
Thank you.
to the agenda. So approval for last meeting's minutes. Did y'all get a chance to look over them?
I move that we approve last meeting's minutes.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, everybody says yes. Moving on, receive a committee status update. So Bonnie and I were talking about this because we know we were sort of in limbo, or the mayor was considering other options for our committee or adding to our committee. I said I would like to just leave it on the agenda just so that for me, I would feel better if we had a full committee. So like once our empty seats are filled and we feel like things are still things are still rolling, but I just wanted to leave it on the agenda. So unless anybody else opposes that, we can talk about that, but any comments? So they'll fill the vacancies in July or
Well, it closes in May and we have 2 resident and 1 alternative resident, so 3 total, all resident seats. And yes, it closes May 1st and then,
they vote on them in
yeah,
June.
whenever council, so it'll be for the start of, we don't meet in July, so probably starting in August.
Is our work committee of 9, right?
Yes,
So our quorum is 5.
yes.
So if Don and Amy had not shown up,
Yeah.
we would not have. been
That's right.
able
We
to-
would,
Well, isn't
maybe
it-
not.
We
Based off
could
of
take
our
any
current
action.
members, I thought. Wouldn't quorum be based off of who's actually,
I think we need to find that out because
think it's-
in the last,
that's a good question.
when they had the last discussion on this, if you watch the study session or the council meeting, I can't remember which one it was, and they decided not to fill these specific slots. They referenced that the board chair had said that it's not causing any problems with the committee. Which is not a false statement.
Mhm.
Obviously, if Amy and Don hadn't been here, there would have been potentially a problem tonight of reaching a quorum. If the quorum is 5 of
I
9.
thought it was 4 now. It's 4 or 5. I'll confirm that, the quorum.
That's a good question. We'll have a few more months of it being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever it is. Okay,
I think I looked that up and now I can't think of, I'll see if I have it in my.
any other comments about that? Okay, move on to, receive an artist exchange update. Amy and Owen.
We have our big event next
Yeah.
week.
Rock and roll.
Exactly. So Owen sent out invitations to everybody in the database, and then I sent out invitations to the people that we talked about. And then I've also posted on social media, and I've shared it in Farmers Branch Moms groups and Farmers Branch Texas Chatter, and tried to get a lot of buzz. And we think we're gonna have a pretty good turnout. So we're kind of excited for that.
Can you send that to me so I can get it
Yes.
to the teachers?
Yes,
And I never got
Absolutely.
it either to send to
Oh, I
council,
did send it.
to me.
Quite a while ago.
I
I will make sure that I typed things in correctly.
Got kicked back or
Yeah.
No, I'm saying I may have done something incorrect and didn't get it to you properly.
Oh,
So
that's
I will
okay.
go back and double
Um,
check that.
Yeah, because Stacy said she would put it on the calendar for city council, so I am out of town though until the 20, I'll be back in the 29th. So it'll be after the event. So if you want to send it to Kim Chapman tomorrow,
Yep, will do.
I also have, should I add to that now or what else?
not. Yeah, I also, my son has an orchestra concert, so I apologize that I will not be able to attend this first one and he's freaking out.
It's understandable. Yeah.
Cello.
That on the floor.
But I fully support you guys. I'm really excited about the
Yeah.
event. I really am hopeful that it goes well, smoothly.
We're excited too. I think we're gonna have a really good turnout.
Great. And you got the swag.
I have it.
all
And then also Bonnie gave me some things last meeting, so I've got everything ready to go.
awesome.
And I assume I can come over at some point earlier in the day and bring all that. Perfect.
You can come tomorrow.
Woohoo.
I
ready
have,
for you.
Lydia coming over who worked with you on,
Yes.
so she will be coming to be, since I'll be out of town, to be the staff liaison for the night. And so I have a 6-foot, do you guys have a 6-foot table at Firehouse that you can set up to put all the swag on? And then I have made the step and repeat she'll be bringing. And
Great.
it's just, so the step and repeat will be Mustang Station, Arts and Culture, Mustang Station, Arts and Culture. It's an 8x8.
I'm so
So she'll be-
excited.
She'll be bringing that. And then this is black tablecloth and, like a runner. So you could put that in front and it's the.
That is
Arts and
awesome.
Culture.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
so that I'll give you tonight, just because, I won't be here.
I can take that stuff because it's gonna be
And
there.
then she'll take all this back with her and we'll
Okay.
use it for, future events.
That's
so that's-
wonderful.
Yeah.
You have
and then-
outdone yourself.
Very official.
Yes.
It's really nice.
Trying.
Yeah.
And then you have the QR code.
Yes.
Okay,
Put it in
and then
my
we
bag.
have the new URL code that's simplified.
Or-
To go to the artist database.
Okay, great.
There you go. There's that. And
Yeah, I'm
then,
still, finishing up, send Amy a draft and that draft, talking about, so for previous time this event was held, which I was not part of, it was a bit more of a formalized discussion, am I right, I believe?
Mhm.
We're trying to kind of get that information in a different way, this much more a come and go, just talk to each other and whatever, but that there will be an exit survey in a way that will do a lot of, gather a lot of that information that, depending on, I think depending on what the turnout, not the, what the response rate is from the actual attendees, possibly, maybe tweaked it, that survey then will actually go out to the entire database. Unless we've got a really good return rate and we feel like, okay, the people we heard from are the core. If that feels correct, maybe we won't have to take that additional step, but, so where it's being set up where we easily can like, fold that into it as well. Which I think would be,
It'll also be interesting for us to go back and check, because I've also kind of boosted, if you can't attend the event, please register
Yeah.
for that artist database. So it'll be interesting for us to check numbers in a couple of weeks and see if we've had any new enrollees.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's the hope.
How many are in the database?
Gosh, I haven't checked
Just about
recently. Yeah. I don't think we've had a lot add.
Yeah.
So this would be nice to get another push.
I think they're. Maybe I'll go and say this now, I think that later. I got a few responses back from it, and there was one gentleman in particular that was like, oh my gosh, how cool. I don't live in Farmers Branch anymore. So I wonder if what system we could maybe put in. It maybe needs cultivated a bit more, just to like checking on that, which could be as simple as exactly what I did of just send the email out to like, hi, you're in this. If you don't want to be in it anymore, let us know. We're not using it much. Well, I don't know, but it's there for anybody to use, to think that, I can't remember what this guy's discipline was, but. You know, if a business owner went in there looking for a mural painter, well, apparently there's no reason to call this guy anymore, because he's not, I'm not sure he's at the state anymore. Which is something to think about.
And then also Lydia will be bringing 2 trays of cookies and water bottles that we talked about. And to have on the table for the night out.
And we're gonna turn the popcorn machine on and,
Fantastic.
and we've got some wine too. But,
Great. I think it'd be. I'm sorry, I'm gonna miss
Yeah, no,
it. I mean, I'm just gonna. Going out of town at the wrong time. I wish you all the best. And I'm
Thank
sure you'll be
you. Well,
successful.
you've set us up well, so we're gonna be in good.
I'm glad. I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exciting.
It's exciting.
Anything else about it?
Do y'all need any help setting?
Thank you though.
Lydia's gonna come around 5. Is that okay? Because it's 6 to 7:30.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
5 is fine. That feels
with the
more than
cookies
early
and,
enough. No,
okay.
so if she hits traffic, that's gonna be okay.
Yeah, she'll be just come from the historical park. But I want her to set up the step and repeat. I want her to bring
Oh, yeah, those
cookies.
things.
Yeah.
And
That's fine.
it's gonna be the little water bottles, so if you had
Sure.
like a, some fun to put it in and
Yeah,
do
and
that.
if we need to supplement some more water.
Okay.
that Too, so.
And then, she can take some pictures.
Yeah, that'd be.
Post it on social media.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I was promoting in with my post is the Hello Farmers Branch newsletter.
Okay.
Cause I said, I don't know if you're getting this or if you're even aware, particularly like to the moms. Because, I'm in this chat group with them and they ask questions like, where can my kid take art lessons? And I thought, well, you don't know all the resources we have. So, hopefully kind of promoting that newsletter too will help awareness.
Fantastic.
Great.
And our job is just to meet and greet. and
Yes,
Talk up.
yes.
What we're doing.
To be a
Remind them to.
a
fill out
star
the-
attendee.
Don't forget you.
And we'll
Where
just
are the
stick it up
badges?
as special guests.
No, I'm assuming.
The
her
next, I just.
Her name is Caroline Kay.
Yes, oh, I know.
But the point is she can, so I have Miss North Texas coming to,
I love it.
okay, her name is Caroline Kay.
Her daughter.
But
I love.
but then that'll get kind of promoted through the Miss Texas
Yeah.
initiative and all that. So I was like, we could use a little
Yeah, I like
free buzz. So I go, sweetie, can you come to this for mommy?
That's awesome.
So she got permission, crown and sash, the works.
That's a
Congrats.
great
Did she have
picture.
to get permission from the organization? to
Yes,
Appear as the.
yes, yes, she had to get
Interesting.
permission. It has to be sanctioned
Okay,
by the pageant for her to
Mhm.
appear, so.
we worked with the former Miss Texas. She did a show with us
Hmm.
during her reign. So,
Avery,
yeah.
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 Great. All right, anything else for that? Great, thank you all for all your hard work on that. It's gonna be really exciting.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll receive a subcommittee update. So arts and public spaces. We have a West Side Art Trail update, so we'll do that in that agenda item. So that's all. Well, and then we have our electrical boxes.
Good news, two are being installed this week.
Oh,
So that's exciting, the two artists and, so these are the bookend ones. So one will be at the Addison, company has them in possession. They're on the calendar to go in this week. So that's exciting. So this one here will, be at one end, Alpha in Midway, and then one is at Luna and Valley View. And then the other one that you all picked was this one here. And then the third one is being reformatted and it will go in, I think, do we have this as a? We wanted to, let me just look at this. We can vote on this. The other one, we're changing it. We discussed it, David, you actually brought it up to move it from Valley View and B Street to Valley View and Tom Field, near Hoya. So that has been, that's where the Mustang Station branding. This will be on that one, the last one.
Right.
Going in. So I thought once those go in, we can have the artists take pictures, we can put it in the newsletter. I don't think it'll make it in March, but it could be in for April. So we could take a picture on that if you want to vote,
Oh,
make
we
to
vote?
move it from B Street to Tom Field.
So do y'all understand? We'll move the labeled Mustang Station one from B Street to where Hoya Park is.
And
I'll-
there's a map in here.
You wanna
Yes,
discuss?
I move that we move.
Agreed on that, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Okay, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Okay,
Good.
we're gonna move it.
Question about the graphic itself. Do you think that they're gonna need some guidance on the orientation and the placement of the imagery so that it reads in the best possible way?
For the third one or for the other two?
For the other,
Third one, the third,
for the first two.
oh, the first two.
I don't know. It's already on the schedule to go in.
Okay,
So they've already submitted.
Rachel's pretty good, you know, she's the one who's been coordinating it.
okay.
And she's the one who had it, she had to digitally redo it because of the dimensions and all that. So it was quite a involved process to do that.
I
So,
would assume that they created for themselves a rendering to show how it's gonna be placed. Just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that that was a consideration.
I will follow up, but I think it's going in. Cause I'm at it, I'm just leaving at 6 a.m. Sorry. She felt pretty confident. And they did the other three.
Yeah, I mean, they did a nice job with it.
Okay,
All good. Just
Yeah, but that's
Okay.
okay.
felt obligated.
but I'll
Yeah,
ask
sure.
when
yeah.
I get back.
We don't wanna cut the
And
dog's
ask
head
her-
off or something,
right.
right?
I think that,
Cut the head off?
no,
No, just kidding.
no, I feel confident. I'm gonna go with it. I feel
Mhm.
confident.
Great. So yeah, that's all I have in besides the.
So that's
Trail.
exciting.
Yeah.
That is moving forward and I can't wait for the artists to get their picture there and we'll do a feature, small article.
Artist outreach. Oh, but that's your artist exchange.
We're doing the thing.
Awesome. Grant making and funding.
No real update. I know on our next meeting calendar, I had recommended that we put the nonprofit just as an item to discuss how we wanted to proceed with that.
Yeah, I think, and what were we talking about? Can boards even have a nonprofit?
Yes, and I do have a call into Stacy to discuss that further. I did get clarification on, you had asked David regarding, do we have a budget? Do we not have a budget? So no, there is no TIF fund, there is no budget. With that being said, there is money that is set aside in a culture fund under our special events that can be used for wrapping electrical boxes and different items that as we move throughout the year and we look at our plan of work and kind of stick to that, if there's something we need a little bit of money for, it's something we can dip into or ask for. And that's, you had also asked, like, Dawn bought pizzas during
Brian Charles Live.
yes, and I had asked about that, and yes, funding, that's where the cookies are gonna come. And at first I said, well, can they just get it and we reimburse it? No, so we would, so if you wanted pizzas for your Branch Arts Live, then we would you would say, I need 15 pizzas, and we would
Yeah.
get.
Get it.
Yeah, so with that being said, I thought if you all can think about it and we can talk about it next month, what do you see for this year? Like in food or in, like, do we want to do another gathering? Do we do want to do another Branch Arts Live?
Mhm.
Do we want to put 500 aside for snacks and food and things like that? So we can always add to the list, but there is some money in there that I could use towards that and towards the t-shirts and things like that we had talked about, I think late fall, about wanting to get polo shirts or get some stuff to give out. So that's where that money came from to do that. So.
So
Thank you.
would a nonprofit, and I'm just trying to think this through. So would a nonprofit that would benefit this committee pretty much be private citizens that go together and create the nonprofit and then kind of function like an education foundation does for a school district? Then they would,
That's the way from the research I've done, Frisco, Garland, those other cities that have a arts and culture nonprofit. It's a group of citizens not related to the board
That's right.
necessarily, it can get convoluted,
right,
that, but their sole purpose is to work on behalf of or hand in hand with, let's say, the board. They typically, and I don't think it's much different from the historical park nonprofit
Well, it's
and
the
the
Friends.
library nonprofit. They're a fundraising arm. They can collect things like that. And then they gift money back to the park, or that's my understanding of how it works.
Well, it's it's completely separate than the board, than the preservation board, the Friends of the Historical Park, and we could request, if they have their own, we do not, no money is filtered through the board, it is filtered through the Friends, and if they wanted to help us with one of our events by helping us sponsor food or whatever, then we would ask them. They would actually meet us wherever we're buying it, and then they would write the check and all that. Just like the chairs, they sell the chairs at 4th of July and Bluegrass and different things, and that's their fundraising that they do.
And then in some cities, Irving, I know specifically, where the city sets aside money specifically to fund arts and culture, because Irving has 2 symphony orchestras, a theater, several theaters, a choral group, some dance troops, and on and on and on it goes. Rather than that being an item where the city council goes through and does all that grunt work, the nonprofit, so the city funds it, but they assign the task to the Arts and Culture Committee, who then assigns it to the nonprofit. So the nonprofit does all the grunt work of collecting all the grants and reading through them and ranking them with a matrix and all of that. Then they make a recommendation to the Arts and Culture group, and then the arts and culture group accepts or whatever. And then they've got the budget already that's been approved by the council. So by the council funding it, they don't really have any direct say in who gets the money, because the Arts and Culture Committee, by virtue of the nonprofit, if that makes sense, is doing all the work.
Okay.
So I know that because I was a part of the Irving. I was asked as a subject matter expert to be one of the panelists. And so I reviewed, the 30 applications and went through the process of, looking at their website, looking at their marketing in order to give them a grade on the matrix. To make my recommendation among the other, however many other people that they had on their committee.
Okay. So we'll put it on the agenda to
Super.
discuss more in March. Hopefully I'll have more information from the manager's office.
Right.
Perfect.
Festivals and contests.
Oh yeah, I talked about electrical boxes earlier. We're going to have here at the Mancy Library, we're gonna have an art show, from the CFB Farmers Branch Schools that will be up for a month. If anyone wants to venture out to Carrollton, there's another one at the hospital too, that's gonna be up. It's the entire district, which includes some of our Farmers Branch schools. And then I would also like to talk about getting another date for the Branch Arts Live. So I would like to find out, if it's possible, if we can't do the stage when we need it, to maybe piggyback onto the Bluegrass Festival again. So it'd probably have to be a Sunday again and do that. I think it worked well. I was really nervous, that the historical park people would be overworked, but I think we were able to minimize that, hopefully.
Yeah.
So this way it wasn't too terrible for them, because that's a huge weekend for them. I know the CFB teachers are super excited about the opportunity for growth. I do plan to attend the multicultural event on March 23rd, so I can see how maybe that can we can maybe possibly coordinate and work together to see what that collaboration could look like. Also would like to add possibly food truck vendor down there. And then also thinking through the mariachi might be a really good addition this next year, because when you get into music with having to bring things on and off stage, that gets a little complicated. But with mariachi, they literally could play as they walked onto the stage, which is a benefit. But I think that would be, because we talked about growing a little bit each year, I think those things would be great additions to Branch Arts Live to grow it this next year. So.
And we have a fantastic mariachi that we used for our Day of the Dead celebration this year. It was a family and they're terrific. So I can get you that information.
Did you use Lone Star?
I haven't, but a lot of them are terrific.
Yes. So yeah, if you do that, and then we have started some mariachi programs in our district as well. So I think that would be a great opportunity for those that are kind of kicking it off, and another performance opportunity for them. So yeah, so that's kind of where we are with Branch Arts Live.
Will that add additional mics? Do we need additional mics for that?
We would probably.
I'm just thinking ahead
yeah,
planning,
We would probably need some mics for.
because we had, I think, one.
We had one that went with the little system that I brought.
Right.
But yeah, it definitely probably would help to amplify, because I mean, it was pretty big this year. I just imagine it will be even.
Yeah, we had a really good turnout.
And
We did.
mariachi will bring their own mics usually. They'll have.
Oh, okay.
But if it's school,
Right, and that's
You
something,
may have to
I
provide it.
do know we have some that probably we could utilize if needed, but yeah, so if any of you, once we get that date set, if any of you, have that day and can come out and help, that would be awesome, because as it grows, there are definitely more things like this past year, 2 people, but I we could not have done it without the CFB.
Oh,
dance teacher.
absolutely
I mean,
not.
they were, yeah.
We've talked about this in years past, so is this a situation where we can like set up a subcommittee of people that are not serving on the committee to participate in that? And I can't remember the
Well,
answer.
Gail did that, I know. She had her friends help with like
The
her
yard bombing and
and stuff, and it was kind of like a little.
Pretty sure the
committee.
answer is yes. From
Okay, yeah.
council meetings.
that might be something we need to do as soon as we get a date, is start recruiting a subcommittee to kind of
There
function.
were some questions, Bonnie, about the vetting of those people.
Yes.
What I recall was, there was a lot of push and recommendation that all the committees do entertain subcommittees. And then when it got down to the logistics, somebody raised their hand and said, you know, what about vetting? Because we all had to take, you know, whatever, give blood and all of that. And I think what I recall is the city attorney was going to look into that. Maybe they gave an answer on the spot, but I feel like that was never really completely answered. So maybe the city
Yeah, I will
secretary
follow up
can
on that.
tell us about that.
That's a
There's
good
that
point.
volunteer form, maybe I'll just fill that out first. Have them fill that out first.
Yeah, that may have been the solution, is they fill out volunteer forms.
Yeah, I think it's in there too, so it could be volunteer at the.
To me.
Yeah. It's the same.
Maybe.
I don't,
That's
yeah, I
great
don't know, but
information. Okay.
be a really good.
But I also know that,
Helps with it.
Andy. I know the person that does it.
Be the last one.
There's another.
Actually,
So I was planning to do some connections there, but also like to, another thing we talked about is trying to advertise it a little bit more and maybe get it into like the Dance Council magazine and just, because I mean, we did very limited advertising and we had
A really good turnout.
it was like, it was the unknown. We didn't know how many people were gonna submit, how many people were gonna come, so it was kind of like, let's just dip our toe in. But this next year, I think we'll be able to go full
Mhm.
throttle, and then that will cause us to really advertise and make
Well,
it.
How many did come? Did y'all give a report? I missed the
We
meeting.
did. It was about 300.
Yeah.
But the event that we're kind of talking about replicating ended up being thousands, right?
And,
Thousands of
they-
people attended
Wow.
the event that we're trying to grow to.
yeah, and this could easily get there since the first year, and we really did not
No.
I mean,
It was
because
kind of last minute.
it was like, is anybody gonna submit?
To have that many
And I think we
attendees.
eventually can get to the point where we actually go, like, have them submit video and we can look at the work before they are accepted and all the, I mean, there's so much potential,
Oh,
so.
absolutely. And the thing that I think we appreciated the most was that people came and stayed. It wasn't, our fear had been that people would come and see whoever they were there to see. And then they would leave. They didn't. They stayed the entire block of time,
Wow.
which is really impressive. And the other dancers came and sat down and watched each
Yeah.
other and cheered each other on, met new people that they had not interacted with before. I mean, it was just so interesting to see things organically just kind of take hold. So I'm with you. I anticipate that this is just going to become a very nice event that will draw people, audience wise, we're anticipating will draw people from all over. I mean, yes, this is, we're focusing on local groups right now, but the potential is this could draw people from all over the Metroplex.
Absolutely.
Do you have any idea of when the bluegrass will be?
It's usually the second or third week in October. I just have to confirm the date.
Okay,
I don't have it right in front of me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
great if you could.
I mean, it's already on the calendar,
Right,
but.
and then we'll
yeah.
just go ahead and plan that, the same
Mhm.
stage size, that date, everything.
Rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and now we have a table with, you know. we-
No, that, And,
We'll add to the
our
brand,
t-shirts and, you know, the funding, I mean, there's just lots.
Love the idea of having the step and repeat out there and having everybody take their picture before they go on stage. So we could even station a volunteer photographer to take a picture, so we get some collateral, which would be nice.
Yes.
Well,
So,
having a photographer would be great, cause I felt like I was planted to
You-
do that.
yeah.
I was like, sat there and
you
I,
did, you did so much that
you
day.
know, you just.
Yeah,
it
that would be
nice to
great.
have Somebody, you know.
Well, we use a volunteer photographer, a husband and wife team that maybe we can see if they would be willing. John and Lois Layman, the Laymans, she came and did our Girl Scout event on Monday, so they're lovely and they volunteer because they love the historical park. So that's something we could talk about.
Awesome.
That's great.
And then in January, here's where they put that festival that they're having, the
Multicultural.
yeah.
Yes,
So here's a little, if anyone wants to read about that, I can pass that
I
around.
would love that.
Yeah.
And it's on my calendar.
Think that went in your water bill.
I mean, maybe we can go together and kind of,
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
And if nothing else, have a table at it. If that's something you all are interested in for next year to
Mm.
promote and,
I
How
definitely
you
just
can
want to
partner.
go and.
I think our main thing is research.
We're gonna research and.
We're gonna
see,
do our
you know,
homework,
how-
right?
Like, how to meld that, because if we see it, then we can have conversations with them, and it's really hard right now to even have that
Yeah.
conversation when you don't even know what theirs looks like. We know what ours looks like,
Right.
but what does theirs look like, and to see, okay, oh my gosh, that would be so great, we can just build this up, and so if we.
and
go-
it is at the historical park.
Yes,
Great, perfect.
yes. I didn't know their stage is a little smaller than ours, though, so that'll be interesting to see, because I did kind of scope out the information.
All right.
Funny how has the event group, if that's the right word.
Oh, special events?
Well, or maybe it's the historical parks event group, because of the new building that's there, that's sort of in the field. That was the field where lots of other stuff happened. Have they reconfigured like for Bluegrass and 4th of July and whatever of, like the orientation of the stage, or I don't even know what I'm asking, except the building's taking up a lot of space.
The
and that-
Christmas event was already adjusted and it worked
Okay.
out great.
Yeah, it worked out fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, venue 1842. Yes, and they work out the logistics of that. And they even did have it fenced off for Bluegrass this year.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
backstage was in a little different area, but it
Okay.
worked fine.
Yeah, and
So-
I kind of like the fact that at the Christmas event, it kind of subdivided the event a little bit, so you felt like you had little pockets, and so it never felt like you just were always surrounded by a ton of people because they were divided off on this little bit or over to this little corner. So I thought that worked very well.
And the majority of the meadow is still beautiful
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there and open.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of potential
Super.
to really
Great.
have some great events out there.
Mhm.
Excellent. Well, we kind of talked about the multicultural events. Oh, so could you explain again why it says take action on everything? Bonnie?
Oh, yeah.
I forgot.
So take action. You don't have to vote on anything. It's just if we decide to vote on something, so then we don't have to put it again on the agenda. If we're all here and we're ready to vote on something, we just put it there, so then we have the authority to be able to, let's vote on it. Because we're right here, we're in a great discussion, we all are passionate about something,
Yeah.
let's vote on it. So it's there just in case.
Okay.
Do we have to take action? No,
No.
not at all, but it's there in case we want to take action.
So it's great. I'm gonna try to go to this multicultural event too. I think it'll be great to see what they do and how it's gonna get laid out. I know Plano's does one, similarly, it's International Day or something like that, and it's well run. It's got a lot of vendors and stuff, so
Right.
I'll be curious to see how they do it here. And then how we can kind of fit in.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts about the multicultural? Okay. Receive an update on the West Side Art Trail.
First,
Sure.
And then
So,
I have an update.
on the contract,
Mhm.
great. Okay, so I've been in contact with all the artists. We've heard.
You found
from-
Brandon?
I did. He didn't go into detail, but there were some significant reasons why he was unavailable. He apologized to the committee for that. And so it was interesting. I'm glad we've been in contact because the information that we received initially regarding the footprint of each piece was incorrect in most cases. So in 2 instances, the bases that were poured would not have worked. So now that we have revised numbers, we can consider customizing the base to fit the piece rather than it being a generic size, the same size for all three. I think that really sort of speaks to the thoughtfulness of the composition when you had the base that really kind of works with the size of the sculpture. And so they've agreed with that. Not that they had to, but I thought it was nice that they sort of weigh in and they were all happy about that. And then 24 inches off the ground seems to be the best way to do it. And
Oh,
they're
24 inches. okay.
24 inches, yeah. So that's significant enough, I think, these pieces. The city has decided or agreed. Actually, it was their recommendation to add pigment to the pour rather than a superficial application of pigment after it was poured,
Great.
rather than painting it
Mhm.
basically or staining it, which doesn't always work out nicely. Just add the pigment so that it'll be consistent through. If the mower does hit it and chip it, then there'll be color, beneath the surface. So that's nice. But all of this is, of course, contingent upon them signing the contract.
And Don and I, actually, we went out to walked the property and, with two Parks guys and Maria.
Mhm.
And so we did get a visual and we're actually looking at spaces. Don walked it and did some temporary spots on where we think we would like to have the concrete poured. So we feel pretty good about that.
There is we don't have a lot of land area to contain these three pieces. It would be nice, and it's possible if we wanted to revisit the agreement to expand that plot of land. So they'll have more breathing room. But as it stands, it seems, and this is all up for, discussion, it's just an opinion, is that, because two of the materials and the fabrication have a relationship with them. There's the fall leaf and the yellow abstract, which sort of have relationship to each other, and then Foxy, which is pretty much an independent piece. So it sort of seems to me that if we do it in a triangular arrangement, that Foxy could sit in the back, turn sideways, so that it's a east-west experience rather than seeing it front on, because once you're in front of it, if it's turned this way, you're not going to see it coming down the roads.
Right.
Yeah, because it's a very thin piece, it's two-dimensional, so if y'all are in agreement with that, then we'll arrange the design of the bases and the orientation of the bases to accommodate that. With the abstract piece, the yellow abstract piece, and the fall leaf, which is that laser cut metal, that orientation will read similarly from every direction, or similarly enough, not to make a huge difference. That's the way it's positioned. So there's more freedom with those.
Absolutely. So we have a new director of Parks and Recreation. His name is Robert Diaz. Mike Mashburn has gone to a new city. So I met with him with Hillary Kidd, who you all have met, who's the historical park manager. She is the staff liaison along with myself to help with or guide the arts and culture, and she brings a wealth of knowledge and so we met. Maria has moved on to Public Works, so she's kind of moved departments. So we met with Robert to discuss the contracts, and that's taken a long time. The COI, the certificate of insurance, is pretty involved. And since we already were purchasing the art, Don and I have spoken about this. He said, well, why don't we just outright buy it and have our parks team do the installation? And so that it means we're just getting an invoice and they deliver it to wherever we're going to store it while the concrete's being poured. And then once the concrete's poured, we have the updated numbers and figures on how all that should be laid out on the concrete, like you said, where it's facing and stuff. And I spoke to Jeffy and Brandon today, and they are on board with that. So Jeffy's thrilled about that.
Yeah, this is done and he's ready to get rid of it.
So he's thrilled, and he will include the hardware and then extra paint to touch up after installation.
Mhm.
We will do a condition report. Jeffy has already provided one,
Mhm.
but once he delivers it, we'll arrange with Mark Moffett, who you met. I will speak to him when I return, and we will set up for March a delivery, which is convenient for the Parks guys, and that we could store it at one of our we have a few locations that we can store it, and once then the concrete is poured, they will do the installation. And so Jeffy is sending me a revised invoice that with a new date, since the other one was, I think last year, had a date of last year,
Mhm.
so that we don't have to now do the contracts. It will be just a bill of sale. So I was kind of excited about that, and me and you had talked about it, and you suggested that. So he's like, yeah, that's absolutely. So then it just takes away that whole contract,
Yeah.
because the contract was very detailed, and for Jeffy, his piece is already complete. Brandon, he's gonna do his invoice this week for me. He's looking, depending on when his materials can come in, and he's thinking a 6 to 8 week fabrication. I said, that's, we can get Jeffy's in, we will store it, then we could. Brandon is still gonna fabricate Steve Lee's also, the third one. And he said he does that with many of his pieces, where deliver it, and he will also provide the hardware and the extra paint for touch up, and include that with the invoice. So I'm excited about that. I'm like,
Awesome.
so I wanted to talk to them. I just sent Steve an email. He didn't pick up his phone, but I think him and Brandon are friends. And so I said, well, just relay that. I left him a voicemail. So when I return, we will open a PO. So Jeffy will be all set, and we'll get his pretty soon, I think within sometime in March.
Okay.
And the other two, we will do a deposit for them, and then upon delivery, we'll do the remainder.
Perfect.
Yes,
Good
so-
Lord.
let me say spring. We will have possession of it, and then as soon as Mark, they're very busy, but as soon as we get on the calendar with them and I sit down and meet with him, I want to give him a lot of time, because they have a lot of projects going on that we could get on their schedule, and when it's convenient for them to pour the concrete. And they were so nice to meet us out at the property and walk it with us, Mark and Ross. So we'll do the lighting, we'll talk about landscaping at that time. So we're moving forward.
Wonderful.
I know,
That's exciting.
I wanted to call Dom, and I'm like, I'm gonna wait for the meeting. We've had a lot of conversations, so
That's great.
yeah, I'm excited.
And that same staff was involved with the Hoya installation, right? I mean, I know it's a contractor, but I saw.
I think Mark was, yeah, he was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the lead on
Yeah.
that,
Which
yeah,
I'm sure doesn't hurt, because that's kind of the same concept of concrete with things attached to it.
yeah. And he said he would even do the boxes for us so we can visually see,
Oh,
well,
cool.
really, so Don could see, like, do you want them farther apart? Because they were a little bit close, so we can talk about that. But I think if we could just gain possession of that, then whenever the city could put it on their calendar to do the steps, we can move forward,
Great.
and we control that.
Yeah.
So I'm excited
Good.
about that. So that was, to me, exciting news today.
Thanks for all the
And-
hard work on that.
It's good. If Brandon, he called me right back, and he is, he's really excited and gave some insight, and
Good.
so,
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Full steam ahead.
yeah.
Excellent.
Exactly.
That's very exciting.
Bonnie, how did, what was the process of these sculptures, because when I joined the committee, it was already going. So somehow funding fell from the sky. And then the committee was told, hey, there's money, you need to go find some sculpture. I mean, what was that?
Well, and you know
process?
what? I also came after the fact, so I'm gonna defer to Natalie.
Yeah, it was, it's part of the TIF money fund for the West Side Art Trail for all that. So
Okay.
that was a separate, they had to spend so much money on art. What was in their contract for creating that trail and whatever company is out there that built all the apartments, and housing. not
Yeah,
apartments,
Peter
but
Billings there,
housing. Yeah,
CD.
Somebody.
Whatever it
so
is.
there was like this chunk of money that they wanted a
Okay.
art walk.
Got it.
And that was what we were. And then we decided to do a call for art.
So city staff came to us.
Yeah.
And made us aware
John Land had
there's
was
some
like,
money and.
this is happening.
Okay.
This money is earmarked for art. And it's gotta be public sculpture. And
On the west side.
on the west side, it had to be
Yeah,
along
It's
that
very
trail,
specific,
Yeah.
yeah.
which is why I thought where the original pads were, cause we'd driven out there
Oh, yeah.
and
Took a tour,
took a tour and,
selected spots.
yeah,
And got everything.
I mean, everything was done and then.
Then it wasn't.
So,
It will be.
It will be.
Don't lose hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so,
Don't lose hope.
and we did a call for art and you were there for that part.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
okay.
I was fuzzy on the first part, and then it makes me wonder, okay, there is no budget as of right now. But if suddenly, in the station area, the next developer agreement includes something to do with art, then the process would be city staff would come and advise the committee, okay, this is what we need or whatever, and then we go through similarly whatever we did again.
Are we dependent upon them coming to us and saying?
That was really the point of my question.
Yeah.
Are we supposed to be sitting here coming up with, oh, it would be great to have this or that? Or are we just supposed to be sitting, waiting to receive the football when it's thrown to
Right,
us?
because we have available dollars as well, so the budget continues
right.
to increase.
For 5 years.
Yeah.
That have to be used for the West Side Art Trail. So, with that being said, I think there is room for more art within the city and in lots of locations. We discussed a few, and we just, I think, have to put it on our plan of work of where we see that. 2024, I think, is more finish a lot of the projects that we've
Yes,
started.
yes, yes, yes.
But I do think, keep your eyes open, look around. I think with Hillary overseeing the board and with me both, us working at the historical park with the new venue, I think that's a great place to put art. I think there's lots of ideas and, as they finish that road work too, past the firehouse going west on the
Right.
west side.
Right.
I think there's a lot of opportunity for, Hillary and I, we were talking about a lot of things and we got super excited that the possibilities are endless, and that's how I always think. Dawn and I talked about it earlier. And so we just want to keep our eyes open and see, what do we want for the city? What's next? And it's something we can, in the fall, address to put on our plan of work.
Mhm.
Pardon me for not remembering, but is there a defined trail, actual physical trail that's been
Mhm.
identified?
I believe so.
The sidewalk?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an
Was-
extra wide sidewalk that goes along.
Yeah,
where that
that
lake
we-
is or
Remember
whatever.
we were standing and you saw people
Right,
jogging. I
right.
think that's it.
Well, how far does that extend beyond where we were?
I think it goes around.
Oh,
Yeah.
just around that lake.
Hmm.
Well, no, and it goes all the way down to Luna.
That
Yes.
fits into the next year.
Yes, so
Yeah.
like it goes around that pond thing, but I think they want to connect it almost to John Burke eventually.
Yeah.
Right?
It's supposed to go all the way to
Yeah.
John Burke on the whatever side that is, and then on the other side,
Then there's,
there's been lots of conversation about how to get it connected on across
35.
I-35.
That's right.
And so I know there was a, whether it's in the comprehensive plan, there is a trail study that they figured out, the best way to do that. Because there's a big river there's just a lot of stuff there. And it was important that they know that as TxDOT does the renovation that they're doing right now, that's gonna take forever because that tells TxDOT kind of where they can and can't put some things, because the city has future plans for the trail to go underneath. And it's not a direct, what they were wanting was, as close to Valley View as possible. Well, it's not that, it's more like near the historical park is what I remember.
Yeah, that's what I understand.
So you kind of go down into the Trinity River bottoms, if that makes sense, and then under the bridge and then up through sort of by the historical park is what I remember.
Well, if there's a defined space and we have dollars that are allocated specifically for this project, then it might behoove us just to make some recommendations along the way, rather than just waiting for whomever to come and.
I absolutely agree.
Can I,
It never hurts to make recommendations.
as an engineer, this project has been in the eyesight for us for a while. And one of the things that they definitely want to add as part of the project is right now, if you go east-west at the interchange, there's not a complete through street, for the frontage roads on both sides. You'd have to like exit or get off of like weird roads, stuff like that. And if they're gonna be doing that, that might be another option for placement of the trail.
So, but yeah, I think
Okay, yeah.
we can, for me, I really wanted to get these 3 done. The idea was that we're
Right.
trying it out, seeing how the city responds, getting artwork out there and seeing how the public responds. And hopefully it's positive and like get them to ask for more too.
Sure.
Like, I think that's another element too. If we've got more public support, then maybe projects could start happening where we have more money to do that.
Not to spend more time than is helpful on this, our topic, but, it might be wise to consider rather than consolidating numerous pieces in one location. That
Correct.
we consider,
Yeah,
That's
spreading
correct.
them out and.
That's
traveling the
right.
Trail.
yeah.
We talked about that too in our meeting, that like these 3 pieces are already set, they're gonna go together, but in the future, we could put one here, one there, one at the, when you cross into Farmers Branch, when you go under 35, something, or on the other side, go under towards the west side. So lots of, just keep your eyes open as you're driving,
Yeah.
like, that would be a good spot, that, the historical park, once the venue is complete. I think it's endless.
Yeah.
I think the possibilities are endless. It excites me.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you all for your hard work on
Yeah.
that. I know it's
Great update.
awesome. Okay, discuss marketing and promotion for our Arts and Culture Committee and its projects, take appropriate action. So we were kind of talking about it sort of goes along with the newsletter, but just like how we want to better promote everything that we're doing. And I think we're starting to get better at it by taking pictures of the electrical boxes and all the little things we're doing. For the newsletter, we have a new form.
Right, but I'll talk about it
Oh,
under the
sorry, yeah,
newsletter.
So just thinking about ways in which we want to continue to promote what we're doing.
Yes, so you all have new polos, you have some magnets, new pad. Rachel is doing a Mustang Station pad that you'll get too. So we have some
There's the
stickers.
bag.
Oh, you want the tote? Yeah, the tote. No tote yet, but hey, more pad to take notes. So we're organically growing and just I love that when you have your event next week, you'll have
Yes,
some
well-
things on the table. Plus I gave you some Farmers Branch stuff. So it's a start and I'll keep my eyes open. Love suggestions. So we'll keep.
And I
trying
think
to-
you might have a point too. The more city events that we pop up our little table, the better,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Now we have a step and repeat
That's
and a
right.
runner that has our name on it.
That's right. I
So-
think all of that is very, very helpful, particularly when there's some sort of a tie-in that makes sense.
Mhm.
I think that, of course, that'll require us to volunteer, but
Yeah.
Well, I also think when we get a full committee.
it'll
will
help.
Help a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it won't be the same people.
Well, and you
Yeah.
just divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Give
Right.
People, if the city has several events that you think are a good fit,
Mhm.
couple of you can, rotate.
Yeah.
Particularly
and-
if it's something we're gonna go to anyway,
Right, yeah.
I think it's fabulous.
Yeah.
We're trying, so
It's great.
hopefully,
Love all
yeah,
this stuff.
yeah, good.
Okay, arts and culture newsletter, potential content for that. I know we've got March done.
We have March and, thank you, February, if you saw it with Natalie, her artist.
Right.
So Ginny, is that her name?
Jenny.
Ginny, yeah. For March, Dawn submitted a CFB ISD teacher who's also an artist.
Nice.
And so I already have,
Carlos Martinez. He's actually the one on the, his artwork for the electrical bar.
Oh, cool.
Too, so
the,
The first
this one or the other one?
That one.
that one.
This one. So this artist here, I already have her information. It's in the folder for Rachel for March. So, and if you look at your agenda, so, Kim Chapman, who spends a lot of time on our agenda, and I thank her very much. We're getting better at it. We're spending less and less time as we meet. Because she's trying to teach me, she's worked for the city for over 25 years, so she's done many agenda in her life and she's teaching me how to. And Dawn, so we've been all communicating and trying to just make it better. But anyway, so we have these memos back here that, like here, if you want to see where the electrical boxes and we will have an interactive Google map on, we're working on the website. But anyway, we came up with this form so if you look at the Hello Farmers Branch newsletter, Rachel spent a lot of time on it, David, and thank you for the recommendations that you gave. I did bring, if you look on the memo here, did we find the memo? She wrote what we updated on here. So I want to find it because I don't,
24/126.
is that what it
That's the
is?
staff report. Are we on the newsletter?
Yeah,
Or on the marketing?
newsletter.
Yeah.
There it is.
Okay. So the Hello Farmers Branch newsletter, it's Parks and Recreation and Arts and Culture newsletter that will highlight arts and culture as submissions are received. Submissions should include art pieces for the Art Corner, which we talked about at the last meeting, the Art Corner being, so we have an artist spotlight, we can do an Art Corner if we wanted to highlight a piece of art that is in the city and write a couple of sentences about it, or, hey, did you know at the Farmers Branch Recreation Center, there is an art sculpture as you walk in, or what, like we all talked about. So, if you would like to highlight one, Rachel would be happy to put it in our art corner in the newsletter, and Lauren Prengler, who is our museum educator, will put it on social media for us and highlight it. Like, did you know in Farmers Branch there is, and we could talk about it, but we need to submit. So I'm just reading the memo. So artists for the Artist Spotlight programs and events. Submissions are due to the historical cultural specialist, Bonnie Newman, using the attached form by the 15th of each month, give or take a day or two. The Arts and Culture logo has been added with the hyperlink to the Arts and Culture webpage. The Artist Exchange and Street Top sign toppers were highlighted in the February issue. And then we also, okay, that's separate. So so we came up with this form. It's a form. We could adjust it, whatever, but this is the form we came up with. So if you're interested, David, it's like, I go to the rec center all the time. I want people to know about this sculpture or that sculpture. Then you would fill out this form. And I could send it to you all online too. So just so you have it, and it's part of the agenda. And you would fill it out, you would send it to me, and then I would send it over to Rachel, and we would like, did you know, or however you write a couple of sentences about it. All the artwork, or most, I don't think it's totally complete, but it's near complete. We have a listing on our website, and of course, like, Oh, right here. Kind of organized. And so here's a listing of everything that we have. And it's on our website and it has pictures of different art pieces. I want to say that Dawn put this together several years ago with a few people, you and Maria. So we do have like pictures and little tidbits. They're not complete, but this is something that Hillary said she wants to get more involved in. We talked about putting it in Past Perfect. So this could be
Where is
2025.
that on the website now? Or is it not up yet?
No, it's on,
Oh, okay.
it's on it.
Okay.
I think there's a button.
Okay.
What's it called?
I think it's, I think there's
Public
like, there's like a,
Yeah.
I'm here now. Yeah.
there's a link. Should
There's
I
under
call it?
public art.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Oh, super.
so yes,
Yeah,
it is there. So,
Public art
if-
locations.
because we have several
Yes,
buttons.
that's it.
Yeah.
So am I,
I'm there.
I'm saying it
I'm
right,
there,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
All right, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a long day, so I'm sorry. I am a morning, like I'm up at 4:35. I'm that kind of person, so. whew. But anyway, so this is a way to keep track to say, what, like I want to feature so-and-so, fill out the paperwork, please. It just makes my life easier and then I can just pass it on to Rachel and hey, let's be present in the Hello Farmers branch. Let's,
That's great.
Yeah.
so I'm trying to
Thank you.
little by little, I'm trying to follow up with all the questions, because they're all wonderful and they're all ways that we can improve as a group. So,
Whole thing.
The Eagles on there.
oh, yeah,
That used to go out front.
yeah. So, and as we, have more time and we put it on our plan of work to update and Hillary, is really interested in helping get that in Past Perfect. So, then we can, have information there. And then Lauren will feature it also on social media. Because we
Great.
post quite often and so that made me very excited.
And Don will be for April.
Yes, so Don.
Billingsley.
So how do you feel about that?
He feels great.
I have no feelings. I'm looking forward to it.
So will you submit something to, what they do is they just email me, but you could put it on the form. I would-
I'll be happy to make up something that presents me in a flattering light.
There you go.
Well, do you want to,
Rather than the real me.
yes, and then remember David last month had also suggested to include Billingsley and what exactly Billingsley, what they do. That would be nice also. And do you want to include what? That Don?
Oh, I'm now art director for the company.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I think that's exciting. I'm thrilled for you.
Yeah, so happy.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. thank you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah.
And then we'd like to highlight David. So is that on a memo too?
Yeah,
That-
and the,
Okay, thank
It's in
you.
the
Can you
agenda.
read that?
yeah, and then, so David, you'll do
May.
on you and me, and then I'm gonna do David Newman, who is a printmaker at Brookhaven College, who was gallery director there for many, many years and is a resident too, so I thought it was
Great.
Perfect.
a little wrap up and, so yeah.
Perfect. And so if you can fill out the form or attach, your pictures or whoever, when you do the artist spotlight or whatever you want. Cause the 15th gives me enough time to get it to Rachel. And I will, for next month I want to give you Kim's email and I want to give you Hillary's email in case I'm out of town that, someone will get it and we
Yeah.
will
You already
submit.
have the stuff.
I already have it in the folder for Rachel, so we're good.
I
We're all
want
set.
to, it might be too bold, but to try to spotlight the sculptures maybe for July, if they're.
Would that be thrilling? I would love to.
Right? So,
Yes.
out there and see if it
Yeah.
actually.
The West Side Arts Trail thing, now you've got me on our website, so now I'm scrolling. It needs to be updated because it says the call for art closed and the jury will make selections and inform artists by May 1st, 2023, so.
And what was that on the West Side Art Trail?
Yes, it's yeah. On our,
We just haven't gotten there yet, but yes, we have been
but
working on
maybe,
that.
it
Yes.
does say coming soon. But I thought I'd just
Really? I
go,
thought we took that off, but I guess we didn't.
it says Well, I've learned if you don't save, things don't.
No, I don't. Kim and I,
I
one
learned
day
that
we
the
worked
hard
on
way.
it for like 3 hours and I'm like, okay, let's, I have to put it down and we'll go back to it.
Summer
So
23.
once it gets updated, it'll be beautiful, because then weekly we can go in and really add to it and take away from it. So yes, so West Side Art Trail, I need to relook at that.
Just needs to be updated
Okay.
on that. Everything else looks pretty good. And Dawn, I don't know if you know, but there's a nice little write-up about Branch Arts Live.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. So that'll kind of help build for next time with your
Well-
pictures.
Well, that was put in Hello Farmers Branch. Rachel did that after the event.
It
Yeah.
looks great.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
then we added it. So we
Yeah.
started updating it.
Did you, I remember you asked for pictures.
Yes,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
And-
it has its own tab.
Yeah, and
Okay.
Rachel will do anything. We just have to give her the information and give it in a timely manner, but she is willing to put, we fill it up with Parks and Rec also because we don't have enough content in arts and culture, but as we have more and like the art corner and whatever we want to highlight, doesn't have to be just sculptures. It could be different things.
I would like for her to go ahead and start working on a graphic for Branch Arts Live, because last year it was just dance and it's gonna be more than that this year. So
Okay.
just to put in the back of her head that it needs to be a little bit more.
Did you work with her last year? Do you want to communicate with her on
I
that?
I can absolutely do that. We were trying to figure out what would be a little generic last year, but I was not good enough to get that point across. But I think we have I think we have this that we can play off of
Mhm.
this and
I love
utilize.
And she can do that.
So. if-
Right, and just create
and-
something
and-
that's,
Yeah, and just take that and make that into the Branch Arts Live and. I think
Well,
that would
and let
be
me show you what she did for, see if I'm still have it. I made a copy, like the artist exchange, she put this in it.
Mhm.
Right,
Yeah.
So she just whipped that out because we didn't have it.
So I
um,
think she just takes that
That's awesome.
same concept and then just takes what she kind of did last year and layer that in instead of the dancer, and she's golden.
And I think if you, put that in an email, she would be glad to do it. And since it's not for, months, because she's
Yeah, I
very busy too.
like to
that
get.
Her time.
get her,
um,
get on her schedule.
Yeah, but see how now it's more prevalent. You can
Yeah.
really see the arts
Yeah.
and culture, and then
Really nice.
Ginny Marsh here
That's great.
is Natalie's, so it's pretty exciting.
Mhm. That's awesome.
And then we even added here, David,
Yeah.
there and there.
Yeah.
Yes,
Will you just?
so I think it's
And I
exciting.
was- and I
I'm
was-
so happy. Yeah,
Will you
good.
communicate with Rachel that I'll be emailing her just. so
Yes.
she's- She doesn't.
It'll be next week.
Who are you?
You wanted to.
Yes, I will definitely
Okay.
email her.
Thank you.
You bet.
One more note real quick, the
Yes.
artist exchange is on the website, but it's the wrong time
Yes, it's 7.
Oh, because in the beginning it
in
was.
the beginning. Yeah.
I'm gonna text Kim tonight and see if she can
Thank
change
you.
that.
And I sent her, I just emailed her it says it went. I emailed
Kim
her the
got it?
flyer thing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I apparently have communicated with her more than once. She just pulls up quickly in my phone, so,
Oh, yeah, and Kim's
Yeah.
so on top of it.
yeah,
So.
so I.
Yeah,
just
so the
emailed
wrong
her
time is on our.
On the
when you-
website, yeah.
Okay, I thought we changed that. Okay, I will, I'm gonna email her, tonight when I go home.
Amy, can you get that to me tonight too? Cause I leave at town tomorrow.
Yes.
So I can get it to the teachers tonight.
Yes, I wanna definitely, do that.
Okay, and just as a side, maybe we could, if the sculptures aren't up, maybe we could just feature Jeffy, since we know his sculpture is done for July. I'm just thinking of, I'd like to have these planned out so we can be ready.
I
They're gonna be up.
agree.
They're gonna be up.
Come on, you're gonna be up,
They're gonna
we're
be up.
excited.
Just throwing that out there.
We're gonna have to go out there and have a picnic, sit right. there,
party.
Right?
Big
We could get more mileage if we put
champagne.
out the artist rather than focusing on all three simultaneously.
That's what I'm saying, maybe just do one at a time instead of all, yeah.
And he was thrilled.
Oh, no, just sent.
He's like, I can't deliver next week, but the week after, I'm like, okay, well, let me get out of town, come back, and then I'll put you on we'll figure it out. But he was thrilled, so,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, well, discuss future agenda items.
Bonnie, I had asked about, a map that had the locations of the Arts District sign
Yes.
toppers. And I know that there was one that was kind of holding up the
Yeah.
rest of them. I was just wondering where.
Yep,
we were on
and
that.
I have an answer.
Awesome.
So we are in the process of, and because we met with Rachel, Kim and I, so we got a lot of insight. She's super knowledgeable. And so we are gonna create a map that have all the art pieces, that when you click on the pin, it's gonna be, say, red or whatever color. The image of the art piece pops up, a Google type map. And then we were gonna have the electrical boxes on there in a different color pin. So when you pull it up, it'll show that and the location. And then what was the third one? There was three. Art pieces, electrical boxes, and
The Arts District outline? Or no?
Arts District sign toppers?
sign
Sign
toppers, exactly. And the sign toppers and where they're, the
Okay,
intersections
okay.
of where they're located.
Super.
So we are working on that. So it'll be one map on the website that when you click on the pin, you'll know either the intersection for the sign topper, the actual picture of what the art looks like, and the electrical box location.
Awesome.
So we were working on that, and that is a priority to Kim and I, and you know, every downtime she works on it, and then we have some great other people that work at the park that help us with it too. So that is on our list.
Great.
Yep. And also the welcome newsletter. So we are in the process of setting up a meeting with economic development to discuss. Because you were interested in, hey, did you know that you're part of the Arts and Culture
Oh,
District?
okay.
Or welcome to the Arts and Culture District,
Mhm.
either one. So yes, we are gonna set up a meeting, talk to them about does it come from them? Does it come from us? Is it a collaboration? Where do we begin with that? So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Thank you.
Great.
So exciting. And then this, but it's not.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would love to have the date for the Bluegrass Festival so we can get the.
Yes.
For the.
Yes, I could probably give it to you after. I'm gonna look on I think I have it on my
Perfect.
calendar, so I'll look.
Can we talk about
I don't know.
Yeah.
I missed the opportunity, but
for the? I think we can.
okay. So, they're beginning on the mural.
Where it's a secret.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Do I need to?
Okay.
You have to disclose that now.
So Hoya, so they're beginning on the mural for the bathrooms. And so Rachel wanted to share this with everyone because you'll be seeing them working on it. And so this is what they picked. And they took your suggestions on geometrical shapes and different things. It's gonna be a little bit different than that, and she was trying to explain it to me, but this is kind of
Honestly, it kind of looks like our logo. so-
Yeah.
this here and this white, she extended it to go here. And I think she took off City of, and it's just gonna be Farmers Branch.
Mhm.
So it's gonna flow better, so there's not like a white there. But they're starting to stencil, I believe they stencil at night. And then they paint, I'm not sure, she was trying to explain. And so here, it's gonna be just a bunch of different colors and pop. So that should be done over the next few weeks.
Cool.
Nice.
They're beginning it in the next
In the-
few weeks. And then, I don't know how long it takes, but I think quite a few artists are,
It's fun to see all the
Yeah.
families at the park.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, all my studio kids talk about it, cause I go, hey, have you gone to Hoya? And they go, what? I go, the light up park, yeah.
The light up, exactly.
I just wanted to go check it out.
I know.
Like, no, not tonight. Easily 200 people.
Yeah.
Even in
Yeah.
the middle of the day, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
right there.
Yeah,
2025.
yeah. So that's exciting.
yes,
Yes. Very cool.
So it's starting to take shape and they took your suggestions and then they created their
Oh,
own.
there are
and
figures in there. That's cool.
So, and it's changed a little bit, but pretty much you have the idea of what it looks like. So. She wanted to share that with you all and so she's been working really hard to move forward with some of her things too. So
That's awesome.
very exciting. So, future agenda items, David will put the 501c3
Yes.
just to discuss and
Yes.
see. Yep. Anyone else? Oh,
Can we
sorry.
put this as a future agenda?
I think so too.
Yeah. John, can we put for a future agenda item, a possible art furniture, public art furniture? A company had reached out to us about that they do public art furniture.
Art that is furniture.
Yes.
Yeah, so like benches that are, yeah, furniture that is art.
Yeah.
Right.
She was delightful. She reached out to me and she wanted to do a whole Zoom call and I'm like, well, I can't write this today, but we're interested, but not right at this minute, but I think it's something to definitely present because I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, sounds really cool.
It looks really cool. So I was interested and thought I'd share that. And I do have something for.
And so Dawn, do we want Brain Sharps Live as an agenda item?
Sure, we can do
Yeah,
that.
might as well.
Should we
put
go
that
ahead
in
and
there.
start talking about it?
Mhm.
Yeah, we can do that. And then
Because if we're looking at October, we need to.
when is our March one?
20,
We'll hit that one before we hit the multicultural, right?
Yes.
Okay, but yeah, I'll put it here.
20th.
Well, then maybe we hold off until after the multicultural event.
We can put it, so this way we can kind of
Remember it.
keep it over.
Have it on our
Yeah,
radar.
that's, well, and that usually, it will
Okay.
fall under our thing.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
It's kind of,
I'll take it
That's
off.
true.
because
Yeah.
It will fall under.
You're right.
So, yeah.
Anything else? Can I just share one more thing?
Yes, please.
So I finally getting organized. And, I said I went to Boise and they have their own.
Yeah.
So anyway, I forgot I picked up all this literature about their downtown art and their arts and culture. Is anyone interested in looking at
I mean, I
these?
for
And-
sure am.
Yeah, John?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Maybe we check it out.
Yeah, so this is just stuff I picked up and like mission, driven through community focus, their public art all over. And I guess I picked up stuff that I was interested in, but like their cultural program guide they have and
Wow.
some things about,
Japanese war brides.
yeah, it's
Interesting.
a very interesting city.
Interesting.
yeah.
I couldn't believe it. So we'll let Dawn have it first and
Yeah.
then maybe bring it back next month and
I'll
we'll.
just look at it while I'm here.
Oh, you got it.
See.
It's pretty.
So I thought I'd share that with you all.
Yeah. All right,
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
I second it.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
Who's opposed?
And the-
Oh, who's opposed? Done.
I'm not.
He wants to look through this on his time. Like, no, if I'm still doing it, I'm still.